Thursday morning. You know what that means. And he's on the microphone with Brian and Gene. The Morning Sickness Show. It's where I want to be. Strumming my guitar, soft and gently. Where bacon rules all, and Bloody Marys are tall, and Pearl Street beers chase them all. I'm here to sing to you, tell you have a great day, and don't forget to come rock out with Tug Sunday.
Thursday song from our buddy Andy Hughes of Tug. I didn't think it was going to rain this morning.
Yeah, I saw rain early today, then clouds later on this afternoon, but it's in the areas, yeah.
Gotcha. All right. We got Shaw in the newsroom, bad news, happy music, the friggin' sports. Plenty of stuff to get to on a Thursday. If you need something, you can text us on the Rock Line, 608-784-0957. You can visit the website, rockmornings.com, to get in touch with us. You can listen live on the website or check out the daily podcast. Do anything last night?
Well, it was Wine Wednesday, so I had a couple girlfriends over.
Oh, nice.
But no, not much.
I watched, I wrapped up the Fallout series, at least season 1, on Amazon Prime. And then I, before going to bed last night after, dealing with the dogs and doing some stuff around the house, also watched the movie Suicide Kings, which came out on yesterday's date in the 90s. Christopher Walken, Dennis Leary, talked about it yesterday. Good movie. I don't know if I doubt Shaw watched it last night, but I did recommend it to him, so we'll see.
I doubt it.
You think he ate that Big Mac? He probably did. We're going to have to, force him to eat one. Put it right.
People at McDonald's should.
I don't know. They don't make them this early, though, right?
Not typically, no.
We could just strap him down to a chair.
I'm not doing that. There's forms, and he'll get angry, and then I got to talk to Christy.
Not if we do it outside of work.
True.
We wait for him to be on
his house,
or wait for him to be on his moped and just knock him over. You know what I mean? Pick him up when he falls over.
Yeah, it sounds violent.
Beartooth and a bit. Also some Queens of the Stone Age. Again, if you need something, visit rockmornings.com to get in touch with us.
More of your Rock Mornings coming up in just a bit.
First one of the morning with Scott Robert Shaw in the newsroom. Some showers in the area in the early part of the day and then cloudy later on.
Yeah, could be seeing showers between now and late afternoon. At least there's a possibility of that.
Oh, really? All right. I guess I didn't look at the forecast properly because I didn't know it was going to rain this morning.
But finally, we'll be drying out tonight and into tomorrow. So
gotcha. Then sunshine, I hope, on Sunday with a high back near 60.
Won't that feel good?
Yeah, it'd be nice. Get those windows open again. I watched Suicide Kings last night.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Did you watch it?
Did I watch it? No, I did not.
I suggested it. I think you would really like it.
And it's on my list. I just didn't watch it last night.
All right. It is on Pluto TV and also on Tubi. And I made the mistake of trying to watch it on Pluto TV.
So,
what do you got? Fire Stick? You got a Fire Stick?
No, I have cable.
All right. So we have a Fire Stick. And so you go on the search thing and you look and see if it's on an app. And Pluto TV and Tubi TV are apps. Kind of like Netflix.
Okay.
Kind of like Hulu, right? So they have some movies and TV shows. They've got some original programming. They've got some live TV stuff that they show as well. I made the mistake of watching it. It's because you search for it and it says you can watch this on Pluto TV or on Tubi TV, and it says with ads. And I'm like, all right, well, whatever. It's like watching a movie on cable on TBS or whatever.
There's some ads.
Well, Pluto apparently likes to jam as many ads up your anus as possible. I didn't realize it was every 7 minutes, so it's really hard to get into the groove with the film. It's an hour and 40 minutes long or so, and it took over 2 hours for me to watch this stupid thing. My wife came home in the middle of it, and she's like, yeah, you should have watched it on Tubi. I'm like, obviously. So we finished it on, we watched a couple minutes downstairs after she got home, and then we went upstairs to bed and watched the rest of it on Tubi.
And there'll be no more of that.
Oh, God. Well, and we have the gray areas on our apps, too. We have apps where we can stream sort of legally films that don't usually have commercials, and I should have just gone that route. But needless to say, Shaw, if you don't have Pluto or Tubi, you'll probably have to rent it. But you got
Amazon and Netflix, so maybe it's on one of those.
I don't think it's on. I didn't see it on Prime or Netflix, so you may have to. And there's no more DVDs coming from Amazon, so I don't know what the hell you're going to do. If you want to come over and watch it at my house, we can watch it on Tubi. And
with a bunch of ads.
Yeah. All right. Putting it out there for you, buddy. Three-way now with Scott Robert Shaw in the newsroom. What else going on?
Well, some parts of our area got 2 inches of rain or more since early Tuesday. Among the towns which saw at least 2 inches are DeSoto, Waukon, Monona, and Mondovi. The heaviest rainfall in La Crosse County was in Onalaska and Coon Valley at just over an inch. The La Crosse Airport saw 7/10 of an inch. Vernon, Trempealeau, and Crawford counties all saw significant rain in western Wisconsin. More rain in the forecast today. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel will decide whether and how to respond to Iran's major air assault earlier this week, brushing off calls for restraint. Israel has vowed to respond to Iran's unprecedented attack, leaving the region bracing for further escalation after months of fighting in Gaza. Israel's allies have been urging Israel to hold back on any response that could spiral. The pressure came as Iran's president warned that even the tiniest invasion would bring a massive and harsh response. The La Crosse County Board has made a leadership change for its new term that began this week at the board's first meeting following the April election. Tina Trigestad of La Crosse was elected to succeed Monica Cruz, who chose not to run for another term as board chair. Trigestad described the election process as nerve-wracking, but says she'll work to avoid divisiveness on the 30-member county board.
The cohesiveness needs to be strengthened. We all get along on a personal level, and we all work together, and so much, 99% of the work that the county board does is nonpartisan, and it's just neighbors doing the best that they can for the neighbors in their districts.
In her acceptance speech, Trigestad said she would try to eliminate the us versus them attitude in county government. Wisconsin Supreme Court justices questioned yesterday how much power legislative committees should wield in a case that Governor Tony Evers brought against the Republican-controlled legislature that could have a major impact on how state government functions. A ruling in favor of Evers would upend decades-old practices in the legislature and make it easier to approve projects in a land stewardship program. Millions of people around the world will pause on Monday to mark Earth Day. That event has been held since 1970 when it was founded by people who hope to stir activism to clean up and preserve a planet that is now home to some 8 billion humans. Earth Day has its roots in growing concern over pollution back in the 1960s, but it was former Wisconsin Senator Gaylord Nelson who had the idea that would become the first Earth Day. That day is now celebrated in more than 190 different countries.
Do you get to celebrate it if you think it's flat?
Okay, Kyrie.
I think you still do. It's still Earth, and it's still Earth Day. So, yes.
All right. What do we do? Take out the trash properly? Plant the tree?
Sure. Pick up some garbage in your yard.
I thought Arbor Day was for planting trees.
Man, there's some garbage along the streets and stuff.
Oh, it's been blowing around.
Yike. I don't think crews around the state have been out, the volunteer crews that usually do the sides of the highways yet, you know, the tick sections.
I saw some. We went down, I told you, we went down the River Road to Lansing the other day on the bike.
And
there was
see some?
Stretch of highway with a bunch of trash bags.
Good.
Yep, they
Good.
must have picked up. So, yeah. I think most of it's volunteer stuff, obviously not the DOT necessarily, or groups of people that maybe work together and do that, you know, adopt a highway type thing. I don't know. I had my lawn treated yesterday. Does that count?
Sure.
For Earth Day? No.
What do you mean, no? I got really nice grass. I feed the birds in my backyard with a bird feeder. I recycle. What the hell else am I supposed to do?
That's nice.
That's progress.
I got an energy-efficient house.
Yeah, that helps.
And Jesus, how much do you expect one guy to do? It's like Christ almighty. I got to save the whole friggin' planet myself?
You grow things, too, don't you? Are you going to have a garden again this year?
No, we got the garden thing is taking a way back seat right now. That whole area is just a mess, and I don't know what the hell to do with it. We got 15 feet of space between our fence and the train fence.
Big garden.
And
right?
I did a garden in there the first year. It got overgrown, and the weeds were a problem, and it's...
Too much work?
Well, the problem is my wife has no skill when it comes to gardening.
She loves to plant it.
She likes to plant. She likes to see the harvesting, but who does all the work?
In between those two things.
The watering, the weeding, that's all on you. Huh?
That would be me. And when it comes to jarring and canning and all those other things as well, that would also fall on my shoulders. And it's like I already got enough crap to do just to mow the lawn and maintain everything else that's going on around the house. So, yeah.
How about some porch pot plant thingies?
We did that last year with a tomato plant, and it just no
nothing.
yield. Very, just not a lot.
Might as well go to the farmer's market with $5. That's
I've learned that too.
All that work to save, to get 2 tomatoes and save $3. You know what I mean, Shaw? It's like, okay, it's great, it's fun, I get it, but I think if we had a bigger family and we had more, like need for groceries and fresh vegetables and stuff like that, I like the idea of having that area with fresh fruits. And, the one thing that yields all the time, no matter what you do, is cucumbers. And it's like, what else how much can I do?
How many cucumbers can I eat?
Right. You put 2 plants in there, and now I got enough cucumbers for the entire world, let alone just the 2 of us. And I love pickles, don't get me wrong, but it's like, okay.
That's enough of that.
Yeah. I should have married an Amish woman who really cares about that stuff and can go all in on jarring and canning.
Sure.
Instead, I got my wife who's a lawyer, and I don't know what the hell to do with all that.
She's not doing gardening.
No, it's not. No. And she didn't get the green thumb from her mom, so it's just, love her to death.
Uh-huh. Well, this rain we've had the last couple days is going to help things grow, that's for sure. Turn green, too.
Oh, big time. Beartooth now.
Rock Mornings. On air, online, on the app.
That is the Queens of the Stone Age. No one knows. Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Brew Crew over the Padres yesterday. 1-0, sweating it out there with a 1-0 win. They avoid the sweep at the hands of the Padres. Brew Crew off today. They're at St. Louis tomorrow night, 7:15 for the first of 3 against the Cardinals. NBA play-in tournaments. Last night, Philly over Miami, 105-104, nail-biter there. Chicago eliminated Atlanta from the playoffs with a 131-116 win. With those 2 games, the 76ers earned the number 7 seed, advancing to play the 2nd-seeded New York Knicks in the opening round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. The Heat will host Chicago tomorrow night, with the winner getting the number 8 seed. So we've got no games in the NBA tonight, but you got 2 of them tomorrow night. Those final play-in games before we get started with the regular-ass playoffs on Saturday.
Weekend, yeah.
And you said the Bucks are on Saturday night or Sunday night at 6 o'clock?
Sunday, yeah.
Okay.
Late afternoon.
The Heat, by the way, Jimmy Butler sustaining a possible MCL injury to his right knee last night during their 105-104 loss to the 76ers. Butler hurt on the final play of the first quarter in Philadelphia. He managed to play the rest of the game, but wasn't very effective. And, of course, now he has a day off. That knee's probably going to freeze up. He's going to get treatment, but you hope he can go on Friday night. We'll see what happens. Final night of the regular season in the NHL tonight with 6 games on the schedule. Playoffs start on Saturday over in the NHL. And Lucy Olson, number 3 scorer in Division I women's basketball this past season at Villanova behind Iowa's Caitlin Clark and USC's Juju Watkins, is now transferring to Iowa. So they get rid of Caitlin Clark. She goes to the WNBA, and then they just keep on rolling. The transfer portal, man. So, Lucy Olson is moving from Villanova to Iowa. She's a 5'9" guard, confirmed her commitment on social media yesterday. The senior-to-be has 1 season of eligibility left, so that'll be good news for Iowa. Obviously, with the loss of Caitlin Clark, now you've gone from the number 1 scorer in the league to the number 3 scorer in the league.
So joining a powerhouse, just a machine down there.
Michigan will serve 3 years of NCAA probation. They'll pay a fine and face recruiting restrictions after the university and 5 current or former football employees reached an agreement with the NCAA's enforcement staff on recruiting violations and coaching activities by non-coaching staff members as well. The NCAA made that announcement yesterday, so Michigan getting a little slap on the wrist there for some stuff they did.
Yep.
No big surprise. Sports on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We'll get to somebody's effing song in just a couple of minutes. Also, we'll talk to Scott Robert Shaw again in just a bit.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Kenny Wayne Shepherd, Blue on Black. That is Nicole's effing song. Hopefully you enjoyed that, Nicole. And hopefully you enjoy your gift card from Nikki Paisley. Request your effing songs on our app or on our website, Shaw. Series premiere of Conan O'Brien Must Go on Max today. Conan O'Brien traveling the world, visiting people that he met through his podcast, which is called Conan O'Brien Needs a Fan. So it's not just, I'm going to Uruguay to see what Uruguay's like. Apparently he's going to meet up with people. It's also Conan O'Brien's birthday today, so happy birthday, Conan O'Brien. Also, the series premiere of Orlando Bloom to the Edge on Peacock. So that's Legolas, right, from the Lord of the Rings films? Is he traveling too? Is that what all these shows are now?
Sounds like it.
Celebrities are just traveling?
I need this gig.
Well, first you got to become a celebrity.
Okay, I need that gig.
And then people apparently care about what your travels.
I'm traveling to?
Yeah, I guess that's the deal, right?
Shaw, you want to travel and eat good food?
Sounds good, yeah.
We got Eugene Levy doing the Reluctant Traveler, right? Now we got Conan O'Brien traveling. We've had Gordon Ramsay traveling. Speaking of Gordon Ramsay, did you see the squatter thing with him? So one of his like bar restaurants or whatever, like some squatters took over, and they're all calling themselves Gordon, and it's just and they're trying to evict them, and there's a lawsuit. How do you squat at Gordon? I wouldn't want to be in Gordon Ramsay's place. Hell no, that guy come in and just kick your ass, yell at you, donkey. Also, the fifth season premiere of The Upshaws on Netflix today. Law & Order, So Help Me Todd, Law & Order SVU, and Law & Order Organized Crime on tonight. Zendaya and Freddie Miller going to be on with Kimmel. Reed Scott and Daniel Radcliffe going to be on with Stephen Colbert. Rest of the late night shows are in repeats. So not a whole lot going on. Bucks are off till Sunday, obviously. NBA play-in tournament off until tomorrow night when we've got 2 more games. Brewers are off tonight as well before they head to St. Louis. You got 6 games in the NHL as they wrap up the regular season tonight and move to the playoffs, which start on Saturday on the ice there in the NHL. So not a whole lot. Be a good night to watch that Suicide King show.
Yeah, that's true.
I got a message, by the way, from my friend Stacy on Facebook, and she said, I had to find out what Jennifer did. The new Netflix show.
Something you already watched, yeah.
Yeah. It's called What Jennifer Did. And I said it was pretty obvious from the get-go what she did.
Yeah.
And Stacy felt compelled to watch it anyway, so. Another suggestion. It was okay. And I watched that the 8 episodes of Fallout on Amazon Prime over the last couple of days. It was okay. Based on a video game, very popular video game. Guy with no nose.
How does he breathe?
Well, through the nose hole. The nose is gone.
Oh, I see.
Becomes a ghoul. He becomes a victim of radiation from nuclear fallout. Sean, his nose is gone. He's got to do some kind of weird.
So he can't do noses.
Well, he can't touch his tongue to his nose. He could maybe lick inside the nose hole.
He can't do no noses then, Shaw. Like, who's going to go get the laundry?
Right.
He can't.
What the hell is this all about? No noses.
Well, the last person to touch has to go do things.
Is that like this thing with a who farted? If whoever smelled it dealt it?
Kind of like that. Like, okay, hey, the laundry needs to get done.
Oh.
Touch your nose.
And who's ever last has to.
Apparently, my parents were not playful.
They just said, do the damn laundry.
Exactly. 3-way with Shaw. What else going on?
Wisconsin's Republican senator accuses Democrats of doing harm to the U.S. Senate by dismissing charges brought against Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. Senator Ron Johnson says Democrats abdicated their constitutional duty to put Mayorkas on trial for his handling of border issues. Johnson says Mayorkas is lying about security at the border by claiming the situation is not a crisis, but calling it a challenge instead. According to Johnson, dropping charges against Mayorkas will come back to haunt our country. A pilot who died last week when a small plane crashed in Indiana has been identified as a Purdue University student from Minnesota. 20-year-old Alexander Foss of Maple Grove was identified using DNA provided by relatives as the pilot who died in the April 11th crash. The student was a junior majoring in aviation flight at Purdue. He was flying a single-engine Piper when it crashed on April 11th. The wreckage was found the next day in a field near Lafayette, Indiana. She became chair of the La Crosse County Board by a 19-11 vote on Tuesday. Now, Tina Trigestad is looking for ways to promote greater unity among all board members. Trigestad says county leaders have several old and new issues that they can work together on.
We have a Hillview remodel. We have a really strong homelessness issue that we're working on. And again, that cohesiveness, that working together and building a bunch of camaraderie and a strong team.
Trigestad is in her 5th term as the La Crosse County Supervisor. During that time, she served on county committees dealing with veterans, health and human services, and aging. When Caitlin Clark walked to the podium yesterday in Indianapolis, she looked like a natural. The former Iowa star and the WNBA's #1 overall draft pick eagerly discussed the impact a new television deal could have around the league and outlined her goal of helping the Indiana Fever end a 7-year playoff drought. Still, Clark made one thing clear. She feels right at home in Indiana. She got a standing ovation from her new teammates and the overflow crowd of team employees as she sat alongside the general manager and her new coach.
Yeah, one thing they got to do is get this Doyle guy under control. What the hell's up with this dude?
Doyle guy?
Yeah, Clark Doyle, I think is his name.
Okay.
Have you heard of this guy?
I have not.
Yeah, or Greg Doyle, Greg Doyle. He's a columnist for the Indianapolis Star, and apparently he said some kind of cringy things while she was up there and just being weird and creepy, and like everybody from Portnoy to like Yahoo Sports and all these people in between are like slamming this dude all over the internet because he said some really stupid things to Caitlin Clark, and I don't know. Maybe
you got against Caitlin Clark.
I don't think he's. It sounds like a mix of a guy who maybe is sort of a, I don't know, kind of a dork and doesn't like live in reality. Like he just kind of does his work and doesn't grasp what reality looks like and has maybe trouble interacting with other human beings. And also some...
Was he nervous or something? Or
I don't think so. I mean, if you're a writer for a columnist for the Indianapolis Star, you probably, you're in these kind of events a lot. Writing things down and taking notes and interviewing players and stuff like that. But this Greg Doyle guy apparently is getting thrashed on the internet.
Well, she'll probably prove him wrong.
My comments were awkward and clumsy. I sincerely apologize. Please know my heart was well intended. I will do better.
Yeah, so Doyle said, real quick, let me do this, and then flashed the heart sign at Clark, which is what she does for her family.
So?
Clark said, you like that? And he said, I like that you're here. I like that you're here. And she said, I do that to my family at every game, so. And he said, okay, well, start doing that to me, and we'll get along just fine.
Huh.
Which is like, what?
Is there a problem already?
The guy's getting pubbed now because he's a dork and he's making weird comments, but like everybody essentially on the internet's thrashing this guy for being a weirdo.
Does to her family, not just to someone.
Well, you try to be a little more welcoming. You got the most famous woman playing basketball right now coming to your town, and they're selling out jerseys and tickets and everything. And you're going to go over there and try to
say in their parade. Come on.
Well, and make it about you and heart signs and do that to me, and we'll get along just fine. Who the hell are you?
Right.
No one's ever heard of your stupid ass. You know who people know? Me. I'm the one getting the endorsement deals over here. Big dork. Yeah, I think it might be one of those socially awkward guys, right? And doesn't really like interact with human beings very often, and so doesn't quite know what to say sometimes, and was maybe trying to be funny.
Right.
Thought
it might be funny.
In his head, maybe was like,
I'll make
didn't come out that way.
Well, I've been there before, right? You go to interview a band that you... Like, I interviewed Metallica once, right? Some of the guys
very
from Metallica.
Nervous,
and this was 25
heroes.
years ago when I was just starting in radio, and I was extremely nervous, and I didn't know why. And I'm trying not to fangirl, and I'm trying not to freak out, but I'm also trying to conduct an interview here. So, yeah, I get that, but come on, bro. Like, seriously.
Well, maybe he thought that the heart would be something that could connect them by, knowing that she did that. But if it's for her family, why would she?
Yeah, you're not part of the family, dude.
Yeah. Well, and you should know that before you interview her, right? There's a reason for the heart thing, why she does it, all that stuff. There's a lot of players have those kind of things where they make some sort of specific motion to the crowd or in the camera to tell their family that they're thinking of them, and like to try and make it about you and be creepy and weird about it too. At the same time, it's like, bro, what are you doing? Greg Doyle. Super weird. Thank you, Shaw. Three-way here on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We'll get to Shaw again a bit later on. Got some Stone Temple Pilots on the way. And right now it's Fozzy.
Rock Mornings, only on 95.7 The Rock.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. That is Fozzy and Spotlight. Got a text from someone down in Iowa. Said, stripping to make ends meet. Can I request Seether gasoline to get the party started? And I said, stripping wire, and they said, yes, stripping wire in Iowa, listening on the app. There's no strippers in this area working this early in the morning. I can tell you that much.
No.
As a person who used to work at a strip club, they're not. They're either up really late right now, but they ain't stripping.
It's not work time right now.
Not for them. Yeah. Also got a message from my lawn guy talking about my fence. The fence in between, the area in between the two fences. So let's drop that first fence and dig out the garden, dirt it up, and make more yard. I said, dude, the last thing I need is more lawn to mow.
No, that's your garden space.
I've got like a 16-year-old lawnmower that's 24 inches wide. You know how long it takes me to mow my friggin' lawn? I got enough lawn already. He also said, by the way, the boss was with yesterday. He said he thinks you have one of the best looking yards around.
Oh, jeez. Oh, man. You did
far.
not need that.
Told you, bro.
You did not need that.
Meticulous.
You are.
The old guy. My only competition in the neighborhood is the old guy, the old retired Marine. and he was out there seeding his own lawn, and he wears plastic bags on his shoes so he doesn't
mess up the rest of these.
Well, mess up his shoes and bring that stuff into the house because he's putting down,
Yeah.
I looked at him, I said, try as much as you want, Mr. Old Man, retired Marine guy. You'll never have a lawn that looks as beautiful as mine. It's primo right now. Man, I tell you, that rain, it's just like, it's like a fresh coat of paint. It is.
What happened? What happened to the Brian?
Wow. Time and money and effort, it's a labor of love. Anybody who cares about their lawn will tell you the same thing, man. If you put some work and effort into it, it'll come out nice. What? I'm sorry you got nothing but crap and dirt patches over at your stupid house.
That's the truth. A lot of sand.
You want to live like poor people?
I
I lived over there. I know. I lived over by where you lived.
Yeah.
The lawn sucked at my first house. I tried as much as I could.
I know.
This new one, I'm going
Sand.
all in. I got actual dirt underneath the grass instead of sand.
Oh, I have a lot of dirt.
Ugh. Stone Temple Pilots in just a bit.
Rock mornings, Monday to Friday, 6 to 9.
Stone Temple Pilots with Creep on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene.
Still raining, it looks like, through the area. Scattered rain through about noon, and then it looks like breezy and maybe some sun late in the day.
Maybe sun on Sunday as well. Looks like cloudy on Friday and Saturday, but sunshine hopefully on Sunday. Teddy bear toss, very popular. Minor league hockey teams do that. It's always cool to watch the videos.
It is
the
cool.
thousands of teddy bears that get thrown on the ice. April, I don't know if you knew this, but the month of April is Child Abuse Prevention Month. And there's a teenager in Nashville who launched a big teddy bear toy drive for Child Abuse Prevention Month. So not a teddy bear toss, but a teddy bear toy drive.
Donation.
The kid's name is Kenny Royer. He's 17. He's donating all the teddy bears that he collects to a nonprofit organization called Davis House Child Advocacy Center that works with abused kids. His goal is to make sure that every child they help gets to take at least one stuffed animal home with them.
Mm-hmm. That's important.
Now, you don't have to live in Nashville to donate. You can donate online. You can mail a teddy bear to an address listed on the website. You can also donate money. He's already helped collect over 200 stuffed animals this month.
It's security. It also provides a sense of safety, making sure that they have enough stuffed animals for every child, if not two for every child, is really important. It really shows that kid that they're cared for and that they are not the ones in the wrong. That really is why this sort of hits home for me. It's because I know what my family member went through and I know how hard it is.
Now, if you want to give a Google to Davis House Child Advocacy Center, you can find the website. It is stuffedanimalsforkids.davisHouseCAC.org. So it's a lot there, but if you want to give it a Google, Davis House Child Advocacy Center, you can find out more. You can donate. You can mail the stuffed animals there. It's in Franklin, Tennessee. They've also got a donate button where you can donate. Whether it's one time, monthly, they've got different amounts you can donate as well, but this kid's doing something really special in his community. Teddy bear toy drive. 17-year-old kid. Good for him.
Raised right. Good head on his shoulders.
Got more from Scott Robert Shaw in just a couple of minutes. If you need something, reach out to us. rockmornings.com. We'll try to get to that Seether request in just a few as well.
Rock mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
No, I didn't invent the high five. All I did was respond to Glenn.
And on the on-deck circle was Glenn Burke, the excited rookie. Glenn put his arm high in the air, and Dusty wasn't sure what to do, so he slapped it.
You can go anywhere around the world, and people know what that is. Everyone wants that moment, and the high five made it accessible to everybody. When you look at how it's changed the world, and it's a universal symbol for all of us to share.
Sometimes you don't know why you do some of the things you do, especially when you're extremely happy. You just respond to each other.
National High Five Day, Shaw.
High five.
High five.
I like a U.S. Day. No one knows for sure when the very first high five occurred.
But baseball's Dusty Baker had a hand in it, right?
But the credit usually goes to Dusty Baker, as you heard there, and his old teammate Glenn Burke. They were playing for the Dodgers back in 1977 when they smacked hands during their last game of the season on October 2nd. ESPN did a 30 for 30 short on it, and Dusty, to his credit, is a bit modest. No one knows why you do things when you're happy. You just do things. So Burke apparently extended his arm, and Dusty said, all right, and then he slapped hands, and that's how the high five kind of became a national symbol for happiness.
High five!
Thank you, Borat. National High Five Day, Shaw.
Caught on.
I always look at the elbow. If you're high-fiving someone you're unfamiliar with, I look towards the elbow.
Because?
I don't know why.
Oh.
I just feel like that's...
You don't want to swing and miss? Is that it? You're trying to line it up properly?
Yeah, you look at the level of the elbow, where they're at, how long it is from their fingers and their hand to the elbow, if you've got to adjust somehow, what kind of angle they're coming in. Form your hand into a flat surface with your fingers together. Spreading them out too much can minimize that smacking sound. You can also try cupping a little bit for an even louder clap. Recognize or declare that a high five is about to happen. You don't want to be left hanging, right, Shaw?
That's true.
Oh, left.
Make sure they see
That's uncomfortable when you're left hanging.
See it up there? I don't know about announcing or declaring. I'm not going to be like, hey, I'm doing a high five now.
Right. Sometimes you say, high five, like, bring it in.
Stay calm and be ready to move in unison. Don't panic or try to rush it. People panic during a high five.
Jeez. How many steps is this? Isn't there one step, Shaw? High five.
I think so, yeah. Put your hand up.
And most importantly, look at their elbow, not their hand. Your brain will automatically know where the hand needs to be, and you'll make better contact.
In this general area, Shaw.
But yeah, looking towards the elbow.
It's not way down. It's up here. That's why it's a high five, not a low five.
By the way, today is also National Pizza Cake Day, and it is an item of food I've never had and I would like to try.
I don't know what you said. What did you say? Pizza cake. What are you talking about?
Think of like a cake made out of pizza.
So like stacked on top of one another?
So several pizzas, like a lasagna, almost layered, and then there's an outer crust that goes around them, and then you cut it. Look at this thing. You got to come and look at this thing. Pillsbury.com, if you go to the Pillsbury website, it's got like a pizza cake. It almost looks like you take a bunch of small personal frozen pizzas, then you do some kind of dough around the edge, and then you bake it.
I've never heard of that in all of my life.
I'm guessing if you take some pizzas and you just layer them on top of each other and then you bake them, you essentially have a pizza cake, right?
Looks like it.
I don't know. That looks pretty desirable right now. So.
That's many layers of pizza.
I would like that right now in the studio. Why are we not eating pizza cake on National Pizza Cake Day? Have you ever had a pizza cake?
I don't.
Gene, this seems like something right in your wheelhouse. You got kids over your house all the time. You're goofy with food.
Yes.
You like projects and trying to create memories because apparently you care about people in your house.
Yes. I've made spaghetti tacos, but I've never made a pizza.
Have you ever done the dump out the food on the table thing?
No.
I hear that's a big deal.
I've seen a lot of videos about it, but no.
Have you done that, Sean?
Like no plates or something?
So you take basically like a table, and you either put a tablecloth or tinfoil or plastic or something.
Table nachos or table spaghetti.
And then then you dump the whole bowl of spaghetti
right on the table.
And then the sauce, and then you just eat out of that. You don't plate it from there either. You just eat out of the pile, right? You don't.
Yeah, like the nachos is just a big giant pile. And
think of like a crawfish boil when you dump that on the table. I don't know. This piece of cake looks pretty damn good. I might have to get one. Can you buy these things?
I don't think so. You'd have to make it.
I don't want to make it. I just want to go somewhere and buy it.
High five. See, you did it. You didn't have to.
You angle, though. You angled.
Well, I had to come over the computers, the laptops.
There you go. Okay. High Five Day and Pizza Cake Day, Shaw. Have a pizza cake. What else happening?
A search is on for a suspect in some vehicle entries which have happened this month in the La Crosse area. Police in the town of Campbell are looking for Edward Slimman. They believe Slimman has been stealing items from unlocked vehicles. About 24 vehicle entries were reported in the La Crosse area over a 10-day period. A warrant has now been issued for Slimman, who was last seen wearing a Green Bay Packers jacket. A man accused in one of the largest fentanyl rings ever investigated in western Wisconsin has pleaded not guilty to 27 counts. Hector Jimenez Sosa is one of 6 people accused in a drug ring that saw drugs shipped through the mail throughout the Eau Claire area. The Postal Service in St. Paul flagged packages containing illegal drugs that were heading to various places in Eau Claire. Those packages contain as much as 1,000 grams of meth. The value of the drugs estimated at $250,000. After a year of renovations, the city of La Crosse is ready to hold a grand reopening for the Myrick Park Kids Coulee Playground. The new playground actually reopened yesterday. The grand reopening will happen next Wednesday at 10 a.m. The city worked with the UW La Crosse Athletic Department and a group of private businesses to fund the renovations. Hundreds of young dancers in white tutus and tightly coiffed hair gathered in New York to break the world record for dancing on point in one place. The spectacle was organized by Youth America Grand Prix, a ballet scholarship program that's celebrating its 25th anniversary. Dancers who took part yesterday included students ages 9 to 19 who are competing for scholarships, as well as professional dancers who are alums of the program. And Guinness World Records did certify it is a new record. 353 dancers took part. And the NBA has banned Toronto player Jontay Porter after a league probe found he disclosed confidential information to sports bettors and bet on games himself. The league says Porter gave a bettor information about his own health status before a game in March. The league said another individual, known to be an NBA bettor, placed an $80,000 bet that Porter would not hit the numbers set for him in parlays through an online sports book. That bet would have won $1.1 million.
This is the eye injury guy, right?
Say it again.
The eye injury. He said he had an eye and he had to leave the game early.
Yeah.
I think the over-under on his rebounds was 1.5.
Yeah, and he only stayed in the game for a couple minutes, then sat and placed a bet on himself to not score very many points, which he did not.
Well, I'm glad to see they came down hard on him.
Yeah, he's done with the league forever.
I'm all for betting, Shaw. Obviously, I like to gamble. But you can't have people that are directly involved with the outcome of the game impact the game based on betting numbers. You just can't have it. I mean, the integrity part is extremely important, especially now with gambling being legal in many more states than it ever was before. So, banned his ass forever. Be interesting to see if they get somebody that's actually that people know instead of some guy named Jontay Parker that nobody knows.
True.
We got Foo Fighters coming up in a bit. Right now, Daughtry.
Rock Mornings on 95.7 The Rock.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Foo Fighters, Everlong. Brewers over the Padres yesterday, 1-0. They avoid the sweep. Take a day off today, and then they travel to St. Louis for the start of a 3-game series against the Cardinals tomorrow night, 7:15 first pitch. NBA play-in tournament continuing last night. 76ers beat the Heat 105-104. Miami Heat guard Jimmy Butler with a knee injury in the loss. We'll see how that affects him going forward. The Heat, by the way, hosting Chicago on Friday night. The winner of that will get the number 8 seed. Other game, of course, was the Bulls eliminating the Hawks from the playoffs with a 131-116 win. No games tonight in the NBA, but 2 games tomorrow night before the playoffs get started this weekend. NHL wraps up their regular season tonight with 6 games on the ice, and then playoffs start on Saturday. And in broadcasting news,
yes,
a couple of legendary broadcasters calling it quits this week. First and foremost, Yankees radio broadcaster John Sterling.
Been there a long time, has he?
Retiring from the broadcast booth immediately. Not waiting till the end of the season, but effective immediately. Made the announcement on Monday. Sterling is 85. Will be honored in Saturday's pregame ceremony against the Rays at Yankee Stadium. Sterling said in a statement released by the club, quote, "I am a very blessed human being. I have been able to do what I wanted, broadcasting for 64 years. As a little boy growing up in New York as a Yankees fan, I was able to broadcast the Yankees for 36 years. It's all to my benefit, and I leave very, very happy. I look forward to seeing everyone again on Saturday." Sterling, a native New York, as you heard, in his 36th season as a Yankees broadcaster. Overall, he's been in the broadcasting industry for more than 6 decades.
It's a long time. Seen a lot of changes.
And effective immediately, I think he's got some health issues, obviously, and he's hanging them up. Also, Jack Edwards, retiring after 19 years as the Boston Bruins play-by-play announcer. He's going to make it through the playoffs. They, of course, start on Saturday.
And then hanging it up? Or
Edwards has described the position broadcasting for the Bruins on NESN as his, quote, dream job, which he started in 2005 after he spent more than a decade at ESPN. He will continue calling Bruins games through the end of the playoffs. Edwards, who is 67, has struggled recently with very slowed speech, for which he has received therapy, but they can't find the cause. Yeah. A lot of people don't like Jack Edwards. He's a homer, big-time homer. I don't know. If you're a fan of a team, don't you want the guy loving the team?
That loves the team?
Don't you want Euchre saying nothing but great things about the Brewers and how much you love them?
I do.
You don't want them up there talking trash about the team, even if they're playing like trash? I don't get the whole, like, people being mad about homerism. You want that in a broadcaster, right? A guy who's played for the team, a fan, right? You want the guy, Euchre, down there getting sprayed with beers in the locker room after they make the playoffs. And last but not least, in broadcasting news, Belichick got himself a job finally.
Oh, jeez. Now, talking?
Yeah. Yeah. The Darth Hoodie is going to be on the Pat McAfee Show Draft Spectacular. Airing on the opening night of the draft, the NFL draft, on YouTube and ESPN+. The draft, of course, is next, what's the 25th? Thursday? So, yeah, next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in Detroit. Belichick said, quote, "I'm looking forward to it. Draft weekend's always an exciting time for everybody." Yeah, Captain Excitement talking about how exciting the draft is. So, yeah, he'll be on the Pat McAfee Show Draft Spectacular next Thursday. Wonder what he's getting paid for that. Get in touch with us. Go to rockmornings.com for all the details on how to do that. We've got Lincoln Park and more Scott Robert Shaw coming up.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Scott Robert Shaw in the newsroom. That, of course, Lincoln Park with Friendly Fire. You know me, Shaw. I want all the fat. I want all the sugar. I want the Hellman's mayonnaise. I want the whole milk. I want the car that's powered by gasoline.
No shortcuts for you, huh?
I don't want any of this new stuff. However, I understand there are people out there that are dainty and sensitive and have problems with their guts and whatever else is going on. Mm-hmm. As a person who also struggled with diverticulitis for a number of years, I get how that can apparently be a thing. The gluten thing, right, Shaw?
Mm-hmm.
It's a thing now. It never was a thing, but now it's a thing. So there's a lot more gluten-free products. I don't purchase any of them. As far as I know, I don't have any gluten problems. Mm-hmm. But Jean's got a gluten person in her house.
Two
of them, all right. So apparently you didn't feed them enough gluten when they were growing up.
That's not it at all.
You got to over-gluten them so they get used to it. It's like the chickenpox thing, right? Give them the chickenpox, and then they don't get the shingles later on in life.
I wish that's how that worked. 2 celiacs, that's a genetic disorder with a gluten allergy. So we have a person in the building, you know her very well, Corey Moran, and her husband works for a cookie company. Mm-hmm. And he likes to provide us occasionally with some new products that they get. A little sneak peek. And one of the products just made its way into Gene's office, and it's gluten-free Chips Ahoy.
Yeah.
And they're the original. So they're just regular-ass Chips Ahoy, no mint, no barbecue sauce, nothing weird, other than there's no gluten. And there's no way to open the package, apparently.
I can't. I'll get
there. I thought we would try one live on air, Shaw, because we don't have... Oh, Jesus. She can't even open the package. Here, give it to me.
Okay. They've been making Oreos for a while, and they do a really good job. Like I was
it's like
telling
some sort of tester package. You don't even put the lift on.
I told you.
You're going to have to take these home and put them in a plastic bag, because I'm cutting the bag.
I will.
And we don't have a regular chips to put it up against, Shaw, so I don't have like a...
You can't compare because you don't have the regular chips, so I'm just telling you that
what is it, a control?
Oreos
I don't have a control.
I would think, I almost believe, Shaw, you couldn't tell the difference if you put it one next to the other. They're that good. They do a good job with them.
They look
the same?
They're a little flatter on the top. Yeah. Like the Chips Ahoy's that I think I remember are a little more pointier on the top. Smell wise, you can kind of smell something's different.
Yeah.
I can kind of smell a little different, Shaw. Gluten-free Chips Ahoy. Are these brand new? Like this?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Like I said, the only one I knew that they had before was the Oreos. And they have the yellow or the golden Oreos too. And double stuff. Huh? And mint,
all
actually.
Gluten-free. Okay.
Yes. So they're branching out, and I appreciate that from a...
Sure. There's a market for that.
Tastes like a cookie.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad. Doesn't taste like anything.
Yeah, I don't have a regular Chips Ahoy to compare it to.
It's decent.
But I would assume that it's similar. You can kind of tell it's a little less sugary. You know, not as sweet. Cloying. You get that cloying factor in your mouth, Shaw. Mm-hmm. When you eat or drink stuff that's really super sticky sweet. You don't get that with this.
Thanks, Corey.
It's got a little weird aftertaste.
I presume it has no flour in it then, right?
It's almost like a cardboard aftertaste.
Gluten-free flour, Shaw.
Got it.
But overall, I wouldn't buy it.
You know the difference?
I wouldn't buy it, but I probably wouldn't know the difference. Gene said, though, there's some gluten-free stuff out there that you can really tell.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But they do a nice job.
All right. And I got a free cookie. You want one, Shaw?
I'm okay, thank you.
I'll bring you a cookie, Shaw.
You don't like to play with us anymore.
That's not true.
He's going on vacation next week.
I just offered you a cookie. It's one cookie. Not a big deal.
Mindset is
No,
on.
I have cookies right here. See,
You got cookies?
well, they're breakfast cookies. You know those Belvita.
The Belvita cookie. That's not a
Crunch.
cookie. That's like a weird cracker. The biscuit, right?
Yeah, kind of a biscuit.
All right, I don't want that. Don't bring that in here. Three-way, what's going on?
In Indonesia, they have closed an airport and people have left their homes near an erupting volcano due to the dangers of spreading ash, falling rocks, hot volcanic clouds, and the possibility of a tsunami. Mount Rang had at least 5 large eruptions yesterday, causing the Indonesian government to issue its highest level alert. The crater emitted white-gray smoke continuously during the day, reaching more than 1,600 feet above the peak. More than 11,000 people live in the affected area and were told to leave. The man who killed a teenager and stabbed 4 others on the Apple River will learn his fate almost 2 years to the day after the crime. A judge has set Nick Mew's sentencing hearing for July 31st. He was convicted last week of killing a 17-year-old on the river in July of 2022. Mew says he acted in self-defense, but jurors determined Mew was the aggressor when he started slashing with a knife. Mew is facing the possibility of 60 years in prison on a reckless homicide charge. While La Crosse County officials elected this month have just begun their new terms, voters in the city of La Crosse will have to wait another 12 months to choose a mayor and several city council members. UW La Crosse political science professor Anthony Chergosky says a year out from the local election may be too early to focus on 1 or 2 major issues for those city races.
Kind of risky to make too many firm predictions other than to just make the general observation that there may or may not be that signature issue. And if there is a signature issue, you got to believe that it might be homelessness or the housing situation more broadly.
Chergosky says housing and assistance for the homeless are likely to get some attention from La Crosse candidates early in 2025.
When do we vote his ass out of office?
2025.
April? Next year?
I don't recall. I think it's April, yeah.
Okay.
Wisconsin voters who have disabilities should be able to cast their ballots electronically, and failure to provide that option is discriminatory and unconstitutional. That's the argument behind a lawsuit filed this week in Wisconsin. The suit seeks to require that electronic absentee voting be an option for people with disabilities, just as it is for military and overseas voters. And an Eau Claire County woman is looking at charges after police say she shot at her boyfriend because he hadn't gotten his taxes done. Prosecutors have filed charges against Lily Hawkinson, who they say fired 1 shot near her boyfriend's ear on Monday, then fired a second shot at him as he walked away from their home in Fall Creek. Police say Hawkinson's level of intoxication was 2.5 times the legal limit when she was arrested. She's facing charges of recklessly endangering safety and disorderly conduct, as well as weapons charges.
Thanks.
Because she really wanted those taxes done.
Well, yeah. It's tax season.
It was deadline, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe had money coming back to her, needed it. Bad news, happy music coming up a bit later on. How are we looking?
Let's see. A woman called the cops claiming that she got some bad meth.
Oh.
Wanted the cops to do something about it.
Did they come over and test it?
Yeah, they did, actually. As a matter of fact.
Well, that was a nice service.
More on this genius a bit later on. Get to the friggin' sports and our daily check-ins as well. It's Metallica.
Rock mornings on your rock station.
Metallica, For Whom the Bell Tolls. Rock mornings with Brian and Gene. When was the last time you were in a ride share?
You mean like I had my own Uber, or you mean like with other people? Tell me what you mean.
When was the last time you took an Uber or a Lyft?
A while ago.
Okay.
Chicago, a couple years, maybe, I think.
Really? That long? Oh. You didn't take any in Alabama when you were down there?
No, we had a rental.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know, a few months ago we went to a show somewhere. I can't remember. Hasn't been too long. You forgotten anything in an Uber?
No.
Wallet, keys, glasses?
I have not, but I can see how that could happen.
Happens all the time. That's why Uber releases their list of the things that people leave behind most often. The 11 most common things that riders left behind over the last year include clothing, luggage, headphones, wallets, jewelry, phones, cameras, tables. I think maybe they meant tablets.
I think so, too.
Books, laptops, and vapes.
Yeah. Those all sound like things you'd leave behind.
Those are the most common things.
Yeah.
Uber also sharing a list of some of the weird things that people have left behind over the last year.
Sure.
A toupee.
Extra.
I don't wear a hairpiece.
Maybe it's extra toupee.
Hot sauce and a breathalyzer.
Emergency hot sauce.
Breathalyzer. You just carry one of those around? Like,
I don't know. Maybe some people do to check their levels. Hot sauce and pocket hot sauce.
Here's one that would freak me out.
What
2
was it?
containers with spiders in them. Like live spiders? Mm-hmm. Somebody was taking them to a lab?
Or buying a pet.
A tray of meat pie. Is that like a shepherd's pie? It's a meat pie, right?
Yeah.
A ceramic cat, a jar of oysters, a candle that says "See you in court," a live pet turtle,
Again.
a framed Taylor Swift autograph. Boy, you got to feel lucky if you're the Uber driver on that one. A fart sensor, a fake butt. Oh, somebody was banging that fake butt in the back of that Uber. All sorts of different underwear, a paternity test.
Oh, yeah.
And a burrito steamer. Making the list is one of the strange things that have been left in an Uber in the last year.
I thought there was going to be a lot more strange stuff. All that stuff is sort of strange, but...
Yeah. WWE Championship
like a leg.
belt.
I thought maybe like a leg.
No, we find those in parks now, right?
Parks.
New York City, Milwaukee. We're finding those in legs in parks. Severed legs.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute since I took an Uber. Oh, maybe Oktoberfest. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Fake butt. Don't bare hand that one. That's a
gloves only.
Gloves on and deep cleaning. Take it to somebody and have that backseat cleaned out. Got Nirvana in a few minutes. Visit rockmornings.com to get in touch with us.
More of your Rock Mornings coming up in just a bit.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. That is Nirvana, Come As You Are. America Ferrara is 40. Played Amy on Superstore. She was Ugly Betty in Ugly Betty. Actress.
Okay.
Melissa Joan Hart, 48. Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Really wanted everyone's signature in her yearbook and can't hardly wait. No?
Mm-mm.
Just me? Mark Tremonti is 50. Guitarist for Creed and Alter Bridge and Tremonti, and pretty talented guy. I drink the pee, and let me take off my glove. Mark Tremonti, 50. Eli Roth, the director, is 52. Also acted in some stuff. He was in Inglourious Bastards and directed Death Wish, Hostel, a bunch of other stuff. Notably horror movies. Maria Bello, 57. You'll probably remember her best from History of Violence when she put on the cheerleader costume and got Vigo.
Mm-hmm.
She got all of Vigo.
Mm-hmm.
Holy cow.
What?
What?
Do you need some help with that, big boy?
Oh. Maybe.
Yeah.
He got some help. Maria Bello, 57. As we mentioned earlier, Conan O'Brien celebrating his birthday today, 61. His new show is on Max, I think, today. Conan O'Brien Goes Places.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something like that. Jeff Dunham, the comedian, the ventriloquist guy, 62.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is Jose Jalapeno. Jose Jalapeno. Jose Jalapeno. Jose Jalapeno. On the stick.
Kill you. You ever seen him live?
Mm-mm.
I hear it's hilarious. Watch the shows, obviously, the specials, but Eric Roberts is 68. Julia Roberts' brother. Also, actor in his own right, played Salvatore Maroni in The Dark Knight.
From one professional to another. If you're trying to scare somebody, pick a better spot. From this height, the fall wouldn't kill me.
Yeah, didn't kill him. Broke his ankles, though. Turning 71 years young today, Rick Moranis.
That is the couch from the attic.
Are you trying to tell me the machine works? Do the kids know?
Well, yeah, the kids know.
That's great.
Yeah, it's not that great.
Why?
I shrunk the kids.
What?
And the Thompson kids, too. They're about this big. They're in the backyard.
What?
Threw them out with the trash.
Rick Moranis, 71. Ghostbusters, Honey, I Shrunk the Kid, Little Shop of Horrors, Spaceballs, Parenthood, so many others.
I don't think it's fair to call my clients frauds. Okay, so the blackout was a big problem for everybody, okay? I was stuck in an elevator for 2 hours and I had to make the whole time. But I don't blame them, because one time I turned into a dog and they helped me. Thank you.
Stuck in an elevator for 2 hours and he had to make the whole time. That's a rough spot to be in. Rick Moranis, 71. James Wood, 77. Via con Dios Slayer. John Carpenter's Vampires. Digstown. Great actor. James Woods. 1775, 249 years ago today, Paul Revere began his famous ride from Charlestown to Lexington, letting American colonists know that the British were coming. One if by land, two if by sea, right?
Mm-hmm. The British.
1955, 69 years ago today, Albert Einstein died in Princeton, New Jersey. He was 76 years old. Disney Channel began broadcasting on this day in 1983, 41 years ago today. I remember being a kid growing up and Disney movies on Sunday nights on, I think ABC was like the spot. Yeah. Joe Montana retired from football on this day in 1995. 2012, Dick Clark, legendary host of American Bandstand, died of a massive heart attack after having some kind of outpatient medical procedure the night before. He was 82. Dick Clark. Rockin' New Year's Eve, Bandstand. So many bands getting their break on TV on American Bandstand. 2013, Heart, Randy Newman, Public Enemy, Donna Summer, Quincy Jones, and Rush. All inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 11 years ago today. 2 years later, in 2015, Green Day, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, Lou Reed, and Stevie Ray Vaughan, along with Double Trouble, all inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm getting excited. We're getting closer. June is almost here, and that's definitely going to be a highlight of our trip, is stopping at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So many different things to see. Going to probably spend the whole day inside the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We got tickets for like right when they open. Excited. Can't wait. But there you go. Some birthdays and stuff that happened on this day in history. We got Shaw coming up, and speaking of Green Day, we'll hear from them in just a bit. If you need something, get in touch with us. Visit rockmornings.com.
Rock Mornings. On air, online, on the app.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Excuse me, got a little caught up with something there. Scott Robert Shaw in the newsroom. I was going to talk about...
What? What were you going to talk about?
I was going to talk about Taylor Swift.
Okay. Oof. Okay.
Well, we already know that there's a college in Vermont, I think, that has a...
You can take classes.
A class, and there might be more than one college that has a class on Taylor Swift, Shaw.
There are.
But there's another one, and it's American University. Is this like an online school? They have a study of Taylor Swift's economic impact, and they call it Swiftonomics. So it's not even about her or about the culture or any of that stuff or music or anything like that. It's about the business economic breakdown. Students will take a look at her business footprint, the earnings from her Eras tour, her influence on Ticketmaster, and quote-unquote more. I tell you what, Taylor Swift would have a better chance of changing Ticketmaster than the government might. You know what I mean? Like the government, we talked about that earlier this week. The government's looking at filing a, antitrust lawsuit against Ticketmaster, the Justice Department. But if Taylor Swift said, hey, look, I'm not going to do another tour and earn billions of dollars for you guys until we start changing some things. You know what I mean? If she really cares, I doubt she will, but.
Well, we kind of saw some of that when she launched tickets for her last tour and the websites crashed. Remember that? And people were all upset, and Congress was making noise about wanting to do something about Ticketmaster. So
I vividly remember the day that the tickets went on sale. Jean was in her office for 8 hours waiting in the queue and on the phone with her daughter. And she's like, I gotta leave. I gotta come home. I've been here since 5 in the morning. It's around 6 in the afternoon. I gotta get the hell out of here. One of the students who proposed the idea for the class said, quote, many other universities are creating Taylor Swift classes, but mostly in subjects like sociology or literature. I figured that this was a unique topic and an opportunity to capitalize on an academic trend. My hope was to get people more interested in an economics course by focusing on someone as popular as Taylor.
Yeah, I see what they're doing. They're talking about economics, and that's what they're teaching, but they're putting it in that world, Shaw, so it's relative and it's more interesting.
Well, when you think about, and we hear this all the time, right? Because we have the lacrosse center here in town, and we talk about the economic impact on the city, right? And downtown and the hotels and all this other stuff. Can you imagine the amount of money that would be in the downtown, not just downtown, but mostly in the downtown area if Taylor Swift were to play a show here? And to be able to look at that and say, okay, what are the numbers the weekend before? What are the numbers a year ago? What are the, how many people are coming to, to town that don't even have tickets, they just want to be in town for it, right? They just want to be around the spectacle, all that stuff. It's very interesting. And you think about all the hundreds and thousands of people that work behind the scenes, whether it's, putting up the stage, taking it down, driving the trucks.
So the towns where she went, the cities where their tour went, there was millions and millions and millions of dollars. And then, a portion of that she would always donate to charity in that. But for Tokyo, her visit there recently, $228 million in the Japanese economy by her tour. And the
just
$228 million.
How many shows did she do?
I don't know.
Okay.
Mexico City, $59 million.
Jesus. Can you imagine that? I'm coming to town. You're welcome.
Right.
Yeah. Crazy. Well, American University apparently has a new Taylor Swift course, Swiftonomics, Shaw.
It's real. Can't deny it.
Three-way with Shaw in the newsroom. What else is happening?
An engineer at Boeing alleges the aircraft company is taking manufacturing shortcuts that could lead to jetliners breaking apart. That engineer, Sam Salahpour, testified before a Senate subcommittee yesterday about Boeing's 787 Dreamliner. He said they're putting out defective airplanes. Hundreds of Dreamliners are in use by airlines, mostly on international routes. The company's been under multiple investigations and in crisis mode since a door plug panel blew off its 737 MAX jetliner during an Alaska Airlines flight in January. Shares of Boeing stock have lost more than $47 million in market value. A Democrat who represented Southeast Wisconsin in Congress in the 1990s before going on to become a leader in the Assembly and later State Revenue Secretary has announced today he's running for Congress again. Peter Barca announced his bid against Republican U.S. Representative Brian Stile, who's seeking a fourth term. Wisconsin's first congressional district, previously represented by former House Speaker Paul Ryan, leans Republican, but was made more competitive under new boundary lines. The seat is a target for Democrats nationally as they attempt to regain majority control of the House. It's one of only two congressional districts in Wisconsin that are viewed as competitive. The other is Western Wisconsin's 3rd congressional district, representing the La Crosse and Eau Claire area, a seat currently held by Republican U.S. Representative Derek Van Orden. Millions of people around the world will pause on Monday to mark Earth Day. That event has been held since 1970, when it was founded by people who hope to stir activism to clean up and preserve a planet that is now home to some 8 billion humans. Earth Day has its roots in growing concern over pollution back in the 1960s, but it was former Wisconsin Senator Gaylord Nelson who had the idea that would become the first Earth Day. The day is now celebrated in more than 190 different countries.
Bad news, happy music coming up the next time we talk to Scott Robert Shaw. We got the friggin' sports after Green Day, again, inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on this day in 2015.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
Skol Vikings, let's win this game. Skol Vikings, honor your name. Go get that.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene, the friggin' sports, brought to you by the Vikings of Minnesota. I saw this over the last few days. Several people on social media sharing the image of a tweet that went viral that said the Vikings were going meatless.
Oh, I saw all that too. What the hell was that?
It's fake.
I knew it was.
But I did see a lot of people sharing it. Obviously, around here, there's a bit of a rivalry between Packer fans and Viking fans. But on Twitter, an account at NFC North News with 2 S's at the end.
Yeah.
Posted a claim that the U.S. Bank Stadium, home of the Vikings, would be switching to a plant-based meat and dairy-free options for ice cream, cheese, and condiments by September of 2024. So just in time for the regular season to kick off. The post read, quote, Minnesota would be the first NFL team to have a completely vegan stadium.
Nobody...
Received more than 3.9 million views.
Oh, I knew it was big. It was big. It was big.
One of the top comments said, quote, I'll never go there then. Then it, of course, got screen capped and shared all over Facebook. And the original post on Facebook got more than 17,000 reactions on an NFL parody account. No evidence cited. Vikings, of course, not going vegan. Funny image. A lot of people sharing it. You hope that people realize it's fake. But in this day and age, you never know.
Oh, my gosh.
Funny.
Saw it, laughed, but then knew immediately there was no truth to it. You don't believe it.
I think you can offer.
Oh, sure.
Plant-based things. And
I need choices in my life with my family.
I'm not going to the plant-based thing. I'm going
not going to
the meat-based meat
like that.
I know.
Come on.
Yeah. That'd be one way to keep the fans away.
Laugh about it. No, it's fake. Move on.
You would hope, again, that people would realize that in fact is fake. But yes, if you were duped by that, I apologize. The Vikings not going plant-based in 2024. Not happening. Friggin' Sports brought to you by the Vikings. We will get to Shaw in just a bit. And, of course, bad news, happy music. Motionless and White on the way as well.
Rock Mornings. Only on 95.7 The Rock.
You're about to enter a beautiful, exciting, wonderful new world.
A cockroach living in your nostril.
Now that's just nasty.
Add in some haven't pooped for 30 days.
Poop is raining from the ceilings. Poop.
And sprinkle in some hashtag Florida Man for flavor.
Florida Man.
Florida Man. Florida Man.
Florida Man. Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man quits his Burger King job, steals all of their chicken nuggets.
It's bad news.
Bad news.
With happy music.
Let's rock.
A Thursday edition with some bad meth.
Yes, we'll get to that.
All right. What else do we got?
6 people have been arrested in last year's multi-million-dollar gold heist that happened at the airport in Toronto, Canada. Police have also issued arrest warrants for 3 others in what they describe as an inside job. All 9 suspects have been charged with over 19 counts. It was in April of 2023 that an air cargo container carrying more than 22 million Canadian dollars worth of gold bars and foreign currency was stolen from a secure storage facility using fake paperwork. The gold and currency had just arrived on an Air Canada flight from Switzerland. Police allege the sophisticated organized crime ring planned to use most of the gold and cash to traffic firearms into Canada. They say the investigation is ongoing, and so far, only a fraction of the stolen gold bars and cash have been recovered.
Yowzas. Inside job.
Yeah. An 8-year-old was found driving a car in downtown St. Louis the other day while his mother slept in the back seat with a younger child. The child was seen driving the wrong way down the street. The 8-year-old told police their mother could no longer drive and had told him to take over. The mother was found unconscious in the back of the vehicle, along with a 3-year-old who was not secured in a car seat. Police took the mother, Latanta Mays Gale, into custody. They charged her with 2 counts of first-degree endangering the welfare of a child. Police did not indicate why she was asleep in the back seat.
A little too much...
maybe?
A little too much wine at church, maybe?
It's kind of what I'm thinking.
I'm not that intoxicated.
Well, you
8-year-old driving?
Yeah, 8-year-old driving. Wrong way. Mm-hmm.
If he had only been going the right way. Maybe they would have never got him.
All the way home.
Possible.
Does he know how to get all the way home?
I don't know how far they were from home, but.
All right.
Speaking of intoxicated, a 53-year-old boat captain in Florida was arrested and charged with boating under the influence. Witnesses told police that John Edward Beckwith, the captain of the Clearwater Fun Boat, was impaired to the point where he fell off the boat. Police say when they spoke to employees, they were told that Beckwith had arrived at work stumbling and had food all over his face. The boat he was working on had about 30 people attending a boat tour at the time that he fell off. They say he performed poorly on field sobriety tests and provided a breath sample of .11. That's above the legal limit in Florida.
What kind of food did he have in his face?
I don't know. But
was it fries? Was it tacos? Was it pizza?
Maybe pizza. I'm
trying to go through all the drunk foods that I enjoy.
Exactly.
Usually pizza.
Little ketchup.
Little cheeseburger, little tacos, little messy old burrito.
Hot sauce.
Little
burrito.
Yeah, I could have done that.
Pizza.
Cake. Just
no, you're not even. You don't drunk cake.
You could drunk cake.
No, you don't. Nobody drunk cakes.
Yes, they do.
Pizza, burgers, tacos. That's the list.
Burritos. You said that.
Yeah, that's in the taco realm. Shaw,
you can
come on,
cake.
man.
I throw fries in there, you know.
Yeah,
a burger. That's in the.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, right? Let's establish the realms.
Come on now. How about a Twinkie? That's
not
cake.
No. If you come home and you go for Twinkies, but you have a frozen pizza, then you have failed as a human being.
How about the cake is just out on the counter, Shaw? You're eating it.
The last thing I want when I'm drunk is sweets. I want pizza, burgers, grease. I want eggs, bacon, something. Big breakfast, some breakfasty stuff.
Hash browns, you bet.
Oh, yeah. I'm not grabbing a cake, and I love cake. I'm a fat kid. Fat kid likes cake. I'm not eating cake when I'm drunk, though. No. So, not big old chocolate cake. What about like a cherry pie? You come home, you got a cobbler. You got a cobbler
got it
on
all
the
over
table?
your face.
Stuck
in your beard.
Not going for that.
Honeybees are buzzing this spring, and in some cases, they become a real nuisance. A homeowner in Pennsylvania recently found thousands of bees living in the walls of her home.
It's always crazy, these stories.
Right. Buzzing could be heard from inside the house, and the walls felt warm to the touch in certain spots. Joe Kellums and Dawn Johnson are the owners of an apiary outside of Pittsburgh called Honeybee Blues, and they got to work on the home, suiting up and covering their scents with smoke before entering the house. They used a saw to open the wall and uncovered an impressive hive that contained thousands of busy bees that had overstayed their welcome. The hive was estimated at 4 to 5 feet high and about 12 inches wide. The homeowner said she didn't want the honeybees to be killed. She just wanted to evict them. The job took several hours to finish, but they did safely relocate the bees and the honeycomb.
Yeah, they'll move the whole thing.
We got to get the queen, and once you get the queen, you can get the follow, right? You get the rest of them out of there.
That's always just so crazy when you hear stories like, how long did it take for that to get?
That's what I was worried about last year when I had them wasps. I told you they were getting inside the roof there, and they weren't just building a little nest; they were trying to get in the house. And I'm like, I'm not having
that right quick, didn't you?
Yeah, big time.
An Indiana woman is facing a narcotics charge after she called 911 to report purchasing what she described as an inferior batch of methamphetamine.
And I know, I do all the meth, so I would know when it's bad.
She wanted cops to file charges against her drug dealer, Sarah Harris.
1 star, bad meth.
Twice made calls to the police emergency number, which led an officer to visit her home to make sure everyone was okay. During a conversation with police, Harris declared that her meth was, quote, not what it was supposed to be.
What
she
was
explained,
it? Did they test it?
They did. She explained the drug left her feeling as if she was going to have a heart attack. She said she had snorted a line of the meth and felt something different when it touched her skin and nostrils.
Isn't that what it's supposed to do, is make you feel like you're dying?
I don't know. Apparently believing that the sheriff operated a better illegal business bureau, she requested the drug be tested and also said she wanted to turn the person in who had sold her the meth. She made the mistake of handing over the meth that had so vexed her. The contents of the small baggie field tested positive for methamphetamine.
So it was meth, just
it
not
was,
good meth.
just wasn't the kind she wanted, apparently. Her rap sheet, by the way, is pretty full, as you can imagine. Convictions for theft, meth possession, criminal mischief, disorderly conduct, resisting, and operating a motor vehicle while intoxicated.
Dissatisfaction.
I can't believe we live in a world where you can't get the good meth anymore from these reputable dealers.
You have to resort to calling police on
You got to
them,
have the cops come over.
The key mistake here, you got to put sunglasses on the guy. A woman in Brazil is facing serious charges after she wheeled her very dead uncle into a bank, weekend at Bernie's style.
Like with a wheelchair?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
And tried to take out a $3,400 loan in his name. A bank teller got it all on video. The man was clearly no longer with us, but the niece kept talking to him like he was alive and even tried to help him sign the paperwork.
Why just $3,400?
She had to hold his head up the entire time. The teller said his skin tone looked off and that he was oddly quiet, but the woman claimed he's just like that and doesn't say much. Well, employees didn't buy that. They called the cops. They showed up and arrested her. The man she brought in is identified as a 68-year-old who'd apparently died several hours earlier. It's not clear if she's really his niece. Police are looking into it.
Where did she get him? Where did she get him from?
I think it was
at.
Probably her uncle.
Okay.
Police are still looking into it, but she could face charges for fraud, embezzlement, abuse of a corpse, or all of the above.
Yeah, you think?
Doesn't anyone realize he's dead?
Right?
They wouldn't have if they just put sunglasses on.
Exactly.
You're right.
You needed the shades.
That's a spur-of-the-moment decision, isn't it?
Well, he dies, and you're like, oh, snap, let's get him to the bank right away.
He's still warm.
Right away.
Mm-hmm. And Aaron Rodgers has been known to dabble in conspiracy theories, and apparently some of his fans will also believe some pretty wild stuff. A woman in Ohio was robbed by a person claiming to be the actual Aaron Rodgers online. They met on a messaging app. She and Aaron apparently talked for a couple of months. She was confident it was him because the profile picture had a photo of Aaron Rodgers wearing a Green Bay Packers hat, even though he currently plays for the Jets. She was so sure he was legit that she gave him her driver's license information, social security number, and bank account details.
She really thought it was him?
She thought it was Aaron Rodgers. If you're wondering why Aaron would need this random Ohio woman's bank accounts, he'd say things like, well, I'll send you $10,000 to help you move out of your apartment, but first you need to send $800 to my lawyer's wife.
Poor lady.
Police are investigating. It's not clear if they're making headway. In the meantime, they've told her to block Aaron on all of her social media, freeze all of her accounts, change her passwords, and monitor her credit. It's not clear how much she lost in total.
Oh, my gosh, lady.
I don't feel bad for people like that.
Come on.
I don't feel bad for people like that at all.
Maybe
you done messed up, A-Ron!
She's got some sort of issues or something. You don't just believe that, do you?
No.
People do. People call the police to see if their meth is bad.
Right.
All right? Do we need to go much further than how stupid people are?
I'm dissatisfied with this purchase, Shaw. It's not...
1 star.
Not good.
Is there a different version of Google reviews where you put meth on there? Like, no?
Yeah.
You just do it on the regular Google?
Mm-hmm.
Is that why they're firing all those people at Google? Ay. A lot of stupidity out there, Gene. It's hard to feel bad for these people.
Yeah, that lady. Oof.
Bank account number, social security number.
Driver's license, all of it.
Got it all.
Aaron Rodgers wants that from me.
Right.
He needs the $10,000 and all of my personal information. That's what Aaron Rodgers needs. I'm glad I could be there for him, Shaw, in his time of need.
Also, we had a woman thought that she could get away with a dead body in a bank, signing checks with a dead hand. And you need to question about people being stupid.
She had to hold his head up. That's the part that really probably was the telltale sign.
Mm-hmm, yeah, tellers didn't buy it.
Bad news, happy music. Thank you very much, Shaw. Have a great rest of your day. We'll talk to you tomorrow. A lot of stupid people out there. Disturbed now. Vengeful One. We'll get to our daily check-ins next.
Rock mornings, Monday to Friday, 6 to 9. Call.
Hello.
Email.
I tried emailing you.
Text. So many ways to check in with us. Check. We rely on you guys for traffic updates, requests, and all sorts of other stuff.
Check this out.
rockmornings.com. Visit the website to find out how to get in touch with us. You can listen live on the website. You can check out our daily podcast as well. Usually up sometime between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. So in case you miss something or if you want to hear it for a second time, right there at rockmornings.com. Got a text from Doc who said, "You're telling me all these hot chicks that want to be my friend on Facebook aren't real? I feel dirty." Fake profiles, Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't really.
I don't know what's going on lately, but we're getting messages on. Have you seen these ones? The porno ones?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Or the copyright infringement ones that we get now on our page. It's nuts. Got a text from someone who sent in a picture. God's Country Muskie Inc. Nice job on the highway cleanup. So a group of people down in Stoddard apparently got together. We were talking about that way long ago, earlier this morning, about highway cleanup and some groups getting together doing the Adopt a Highway thing. And apparently they had a a crew of, looks like 6 people that got together and cleaned up some of
It's
them.
necessary. I mean, it happens
So
every
much
spring.
trash.
There's so much trash, and having those groups that do that volunteer, that adopt those highways, super important. Earth Day on Monday.
Got a text from someone in Iowa who is stripping to make ends meet, wanted to hear some Seether gasoline. Did not get to that. Try to do that after 9 o'clock. My apologies. Stripping wire, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Not stripping. I got a text from Doug who said, what do you call a woman that doesn't give mouth love? I said, you call her a cab. This was about the Uber thing. He said, correct, call her an Uber. And I said, you don't call Uber, you order one. You call a cab, you order an Uber. Difference. He was trying to capitalize on the whole Uber thing.
Yeah, super funny, Doug. Hilarious. Tip your waiters and waitresses. He'll be here all night.
I got an email from the boss.
I don't need that in my life right now. What's up?
Oh, it's good. It is. He's not here today. That's good, right?
That's what the email says?
Probably not going to be here tomorrow either. I thought you said you didn't. I'm trying to give you good news here. He said he's in Madison for meetings today. You'd effing hate it. Yeah, I hate all meetings. I think meetings are a waste of my time. Tell you what, you figure out what happens in the meetings and then tell me what it is afterwards. I don't need to be in the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
He said, can we meet tomorrow? Lunch and beer.
Ooh, look at you go.
I said, are you buying no wings, by the way? The last time I had wings with the boss, he tried to kill me.
They were
some kind of 4-alarm fire, anal bleeding wings.
Why'd you eat it?
Because it was dark in there and I couldn't see the color. And they ordered like 3 different kinds, and I thought the one that was like darker would be okay. Usually the brighter the wing, like if they're really orangey, like like stuff's going down. And so I went for one that was like more of a brownish color. I was like, dude, you don't understand. I would have had to go home. Like I couldn't have been here anymore with you people. And so they had to. The cook felt bad for me, made me wings with no sauce on them. I said, well, I like sauce. I just don't want to die from eating the sauce.
You're going for wings and beer with the boss?
Yeah, and I said, when's the I said, what's time and place? He said, noon, you pick the place. He must know that I'm very unhappy in my position right now.
I get 0 invites for wings and beer. I can't remember the last time I had
Because you don't
beers.
complain enough. You have to be like me. Squeaky wheel gets the grease, all right? If you walk around here and you bitch and moan about things.
You get beer and
wings? You get beer and wings on the boss's tab. And then he asks a favor. He's like, hey, by the way, I need you to stop deleting Hardy from the log, okay? No. I'm standing on that hill and I'm dying on it. I'm deleting Hardy every time I see it. Not playing it. Hey, man, can you stop saying a-hole on the radio?
Yeah, stop
Hey, can you stop playing Firehouse?
Don't do
Hey, man,
that.
can you stop doing... Hey, man, can you stop saying this?
I would like that. Beers and wings. I like those things.
You can come with us. Noon? You can't even get out of here before 4 o'clock.
I can't. No, I actually have a meeting at 12:30 tomorrow.
How does anything... That's why nothing is working around here, because we're having too many meetings. If we spent more time fixing the things that are broken and less time meeting about them, things would be working.
Right.
Yeah. Why isn't the voice tracker work? Well, because we had a meeting, and we were supposed to get fixed, but then the meeting happened. And we met about it, but nothing got done. All right. Thank you very much for all the correspondence. I'll let you know on Monday how the wings and beer went tomorrow.
Thanks.
We'll be back tomorrow for a Friday edition of the show.